Smiling Sam, the piano man here with today's video for us. Last time we were looking at the major scale, and what we were doing, we're giving the notes of that scale numbers rather than using the letter names. And the reason was for doing that was to enable us to play any major scale and refer to the notes in that particular scale with those numbers. So in other words, the C major, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and back to 1. The D major, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and back to 1. And notice, some of you might say, well, you know, that's okay, the C major scale, all the white notes, but when you do it in D, why do we have to play two black notes, the F sharp and the C sharp, for instance? Well, it's an interesting question, that, and the reason being is that all major scales, as in all scales, have got certain formulas. So the formula for the major scale, that's what we're going to look at today. And it consists of steps and half steps. And to demonstrate that, a step is from C to D, because it's got another note in between. So a step consists of a whole tone, what we call like that. And the same from D to E, that's got a note in between, so that's another step. But then notice if we go E to F, there's no black note in between, so that's what we call a half step. The notes from C to C sharp is a half step. The note from C sharp to D is an half step. But from F to G, that's another step. G to A is a step. A to B is a step. And then B to C, that's another half step because there's no black note again. So there's two places, the E to F and the B to C, which are direct half steps, but there's no black note in between. So the formula then for the major scale is what we call a step, a step, a half step, a step, a step, a step, and a half step. And that's the same for all the scales, all the major scales rather, on the piano keyboard. So if we want D, it's step, step, so that's why we've got the black note, half step, black note to the G, step, step, another step is B to C sharp, that's why we've got the C sharp, and then the final half step C sharp back to D. So I hope that makes sense. I mean, for some it might be a bit difficult to grasp, so we've got a little aid to help us. I've made a bit of A4 paper and folded it into three. And what I've written on there, look, is the major scale formula, and I've written it down. Step, step, half step, 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 half step. You get that? And then what we can do is, over the white notes, if we get C, and we write the number 1, and then the D, write number 2, the E, 3, and the F, 4, the G, 5, the A6, the B7, and then we're back to the C and 1. And the reason we do that is because then if we slide that, so that's the C major scale with those numbers, but directly by placing it over the D, so now we've got the number 1 written straight over the D note, number 2 is the E, but then notice number 3 jumps to the F sharp, number 4 jumps to the G rather, sorry, and number 5 goes to the A, and number 6 to the B, number 7 to the C sharp, and then we're back to the D. So that's the formula, and the beauty of this little bit of paper, we can put it over any note on the keyboard, and as long as the scale we want has the number 1 over it, in other words, if we want F sharp, I put the number 1 over the F sharp, as we've done there. Number 2 then goes on to the G sharp, number 3 to the B flat, number 4 to the B, number 5 to the C sharp, number 6 to the D sharp, number 7 to the F, and then we're back to the F sharp with the number 1. So that little formula will give you all the major scales on the keyboard, And that little bit of paper is priceless while we're in the process of learning these major scales, and the reason why some have black notes and some only the C major has all the white notes. And it's because of that formula: step, step, half step, 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 half step. So we'll look at other scales as well along the way, but we want to master this one for now, all the major scales, and practice them so you start to learn them. And we'll look at then reason we've given them numbers rather than letters is because then we can look at the chords and we can say play the 1 chord, the 3 chord, the 5 chord of any major scale, and we'll soon be able to do that. And then of course also changing chords from major to minor and diminished and augmented, we'll be able to just say, well, flatten the third, raise the fifth, so forth, and we'll fully understand that as we've gone along. But that's all videos to come along the way. So if you are finding these videos helpful and encouraging, please give me a like and give me a subscribe. And if you've got questions and you want to know anything, or I've not explained anything here clearly, please let me know so that I can do it again for you, so that you fully understand. Because at the end of this, we just want to be able to make our own music, have lots of fun, and impress your friends and family with your progress. So Smiling Sam signing off, and we'll catch you in the next video.